Okay?
Save the tree, brother.
Thank you. Do you have the agenda, a copy of the agenda, Commissioner Glenn?
I just actually, let me go look at this. Hold on, a second. If I did, say I approved.
That wasn't.
Yeah, it's in front of you. It
Okay.
just says, okay, the 85th Avenue meeting for this meeting held. But
Yes.
it doesn't say it's part of the letter. I just gotta get used to the terms.
No
So
problem.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Can I have somebody motion and second, please?
I think Mr. Gentry made a motion.
I motioned it.
Your motion? Did we get- And
I
you seconded it?
Yes.
Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Garrett,
Yes.
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Abstain.
Commissioner Raines,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wilson.
Yes. At this time, we're gonna go into the secretary's report.
So, yes, sir.
Before we go to the secretary's report, I just have a question for board counsel.
Yes.
Even if you're not at a meeting, if you reviewed the minutes, can you vote one way or the other?
Yes,
for
you
the
can.
record?
You're not required to
Yes.
stay.
All right, please put that on the record.
Could we turn the speaker up, because I barely heard John Raines. You don't have to repeat it, Mr. Raines. I just was barely so I don't want us to go into, the meeting, and I barely can really.
Commissioner Garrett, ours is already up to 65.
I think she meant the microphone.
I think from
The-
this side
the-
here.
The volume is already up high on this side that is becoming to get an echo. I think maybe it's something on your side. Can you, turn your volume up?
I did, it's all the way up.
All right, thank you. We're trying to make sure that you understand everything that's going on.
I understand, I just can't hear you clearly.
Well, we'll make sure we speak louder so you can hear us.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just the only thing today on the secretary's report, I just want to, we did put, just a draft of the 2024 operating budget at your place. We emailed it as well to you, Commissioner Garrett and Commissioner Green. This would be for consideration at next board meeting. We wanted to give it a little early so you could take a look at it. We're not done with it yet. We're still scrubbing numbers and looking at the budget. But we wanted to give it to the board if you have an opportunity to review and ask any questions. Like, again, we anticipate bringing this to the February board for approval.
Excuse me, Mr. Garrett, when did you mail this budget?
You just got it. You probably just got it this morning. You should probably just got an email this morning.
An email was sent out to you and Commissioner
I
Green.
got it, Chairwoman, I just seen it. That's why I was saying, I was under the impression.
Yeah, this is
Right.
I just want you to have it.
Just for you to look at it, and we'll talk about it for February's meeting, okay? All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to resolutions.
Okay.
And just wanted to let the board know, we do have we are going to do a closed session to talk about the choice neighborhood.
Who's phone?
I didn't hear that.
Commissioner Green and Commissioner Correct on, will it be in the biggest closed section?
Yeah,
Or
we
just
just-
add it on?
Yeah, we just have to.
You clear the room here.
Right from the room, yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
that's
can
all.
do
All right, no problem.
Now, everybody except Christie and Cliff is going to stay in there.
Okay.
All right, 20. Start with disbursements.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
All right, I will be presenting Resolution 2401. This resolution authorizes the approval of disbursements for December 2023 in the amount of $1,492,900 $428,212.44, split between the general fund for $1,049,390.37, and the capital fund, which was $378,822.07. It is my recommendation that the Board of Commissioners adopt the resolution approving the disbursements for the month of December. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 24-01?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Any questions?
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Tibbs,
Yes.
so, we're looking at $1 million. Can you kind of give us a, little small overview? Because normally, I think we've seen it, the general fund is up to $1 million. Normally, it's like, 800 or something thousand. So what's increased? I see you had some medical stuff, health stuff, stuck in here, but I wouldn't say it would increase. So what's pushing us up $200,000 more than we normally?
Definitely. So, yeah,
Are expenses?
definitely understand. And the run rate is a little higher than anticipated due to the conversion. We're still cleaning out the some of the old vendors that we had from the previous system, making sure that those invoices were paid through the procurement system, things along those lines, in addition to the holidays, which prevented us from processing certain invoices in November, at the end of November, during that Thanksgiving time frame, which then carried over into December. And I think that's what you're talking about when you look at the pension information there. If you look at the very last page on the general fund, you'll see that there's a double up there for the payment for November as well as December for the health benefits.
That's the pension? That's the pension you said?
Yes.
I think that was $34,000.
Yes, and it was 93,000 and 96,000. Those two, the very last disbursement.
The
health benefits. Yeah, so that's doubled up. So it was lighter in November, and then we processed that due to the holiday. That invoice didn't come in and get processed until December. So that's about 90,000 there. And then there were some other costs. There was a large licensing fee, which was paid out for Yardi, the services for the year-long licensing fee. We made sure that that was captured in the current year, which was 2023, which we definitely wanted to make sure that all the costs in the current year are captured.
Yeah, I saw that too. One question. The computer system, I know you did the conversion, there was some issues. Is that when you were having those issues, was that under the vendor Yardi?
Yeah, I wouldn't say issues. It was more so timing of converting the system over, more of us doing our due diligence and making sure that we're scrubbing the numbers to make sure that everything came over properly and accurately. We want to make sure that the reconciliations were performed. We're actually even still going through line by line to make sure that that process actually is completed and finalized. As we put together the budget, which was ideal as we looked to put together the budget line by line, we wanted to make sure that those numbers equated and made sense from a carryover from year to year basis.
Okay, just one more question. So when we signed the contract with Yardi, and I think that was that part of the arrangement, the agreement, was the conversion? And based on the issues that you're having, was that built into that, or are we still paying them as, like, they're still providing a service? Like, there was a component for us to do the conversion to this new software. So was there a package deal for maintenance, or we're being billed per hour? Is it a flat rate, or we're being billed per hour?
Well, the initial purchase for the software was a few years ago. That was the initial rollout. That was captured in the initial purchase of the software. This is more maintenance, the annual maintenance and the licensing fees that we're paying for the users. That's what we're capturing
I'm
here.
talking about when you're scrubbing, for you to be scrubbing like you said, you're scrubbing and trying to get rid of old vendors, and you're trying to, clean up from, bringing over, accounts and data that's no longer, relevant or accurate, or not accurate, but, we're not, no longer doing business with those vendors or payouts or whatever, for them to be scrubbing the data, was that put into the contract to pay a flat fee, no matter how long it takes them to do that? We're not paying in addition. If we're being billed per hour, was that part of the contract?
No, that's part of our annual maintenance. So that's part of our annual maintenance. The only thing additional would be any trainings and things along those lines that we will look to get into in 2024. But the original cost right now is all part of the maintenance and upkeep of the system and the tool as we look to turn it on and convert over from the previous ERP system.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. This totally looks so much different from what we're used to.
Hopefully it's
But
better.
so this is what it's going to look like going forward.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Anybody else have any questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Garrett,
Yes.
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Raines,
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon.
Yes.
Okay. 2402, Mr. Martin.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Again.
Okay. Resolution 2402. For the past few years, we've utilized outside contractors to assist us with vacant unit reconditioning. We'd like to continue to do that. This year, we put out we bid the project on November 5th. We had 8 contractors obtain bid packages. Submissions were due December 12th. 7 contractors submitted packages. 4 of those contractors we previously had under contract. We had 3 new submissions. We determined we'd like to utilize the service of all 7 contractors, and this will give us a good amount of contractors to go ahead and keep on top of unit turns. Contractors are Trevor Carpentry, Do It All, VI Construction, Don Moore Construction, Wilcox Construction, Blackmore Group, and Peace of Mind Construction. We'd like to do this in an aggregate of $500,000 for the year, which should satisfy our needs for 2024. So that's it. You approve the resolution to award all 7 contractors a contract for vacant unit reconditioning. Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2402?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, I have questions. Is this Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Martin? Okay. All right. I just have a question. Couple questions. Now, these are, looks like the same contractors except Peace of Mind Construction. Oh, so, okay, before we had 4, now we're adding 3 more. So that's why we're asking for $500,000?
No, 4 we had previously, and we're adding another 3, but we're saying for the amount that we expect to use over the course of the year.
You have to talk louder because I can't hear you.
4 contractors we are currently under contract, we've had previously for the past several years. 3 new contractors, but we expect the $500,000 to cover us for this year, for the next year here. It's not because of adding. Repeat?
You already have a list of units that you're right now currently, and that's what I guess what the price of material and what, because of the, that's what boosted it up to 500. Because I think, if I recall, we're always coming back in 6 months and asking for an increase.
Right, so we're anticipating that we will use $500,000 for this year.
Who is going out and making sure that these contractors are up to code, making sure that the, inspecting them to make sure that they're actually, you know, reconditioning these apartments, taking them correctly, repairing any holes or the cabinets or the counters, like, is someone coming behind and.
We have a project manager overseeing them,
An architect.
and an architect.
And that's,
We have a project manager overseeing every unit turn.
okay, the project manager doesn't work for any of these people, do they?
No, he works for us.
Oh, they're on the payroll of the housing authority.
Correct.
And the architect is the ones we approve for contract?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. These contractors, they're not doing any work reconditioning for Dolly Homes, are they?
No.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Martin, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, I know we did Trevor Do It All BI. Can you tell me what's the difference between the Blackstone group versus the other 6?
The difference?
Yes, I asked that question only because I see that they are based out of Newark. Everybody else is based out of Trenton. So what is Blackstone offering that we don't get from the 6 that we already have here in Trenton?
We're just adding additional contractors so that we have enough contractors to take care of our, reconditioning. We don't want to overfill one contractor and not another. So we're just adding contractors. That's what we had 7 submits, so we said, why don't we use all 7? We'll see how they do.
We could, but just to be clear, we plan to manage it, like we have developed a relationship with the 4 contractors, the Trenton-based contractors, so those are our primary contractors. But you wanna have backup in the case that you have situations where they don't have the capacity to handle something in a time that we have additional resources. But we fully intend to issue the units based on our Section 3, community empowerment policies where local contractors get the first preferences toward those units. But again, this gives us flexibility and backup.
Thank you. Well,
Yes, and I'd like to, one second, I'd like to piggyback off of what Chairman, Weldon Coleman in regards to Blackstone Group. I just hope that we don't, and I mean, business, I know we, give opportunities, I heard what you said, but I just don't want it where this group gets work and then they phase them out and we have all these out-of-town contractors. We have to sustain our economy and these, contractors hopefully are employing people within the city of Trenton or even the people who live there, on the, tenant of the housing authority. So I hope that's not gonna be an issue. We have
Never has
out-of-town,
been.
contractors
It never has
phasing
been.
out.
right.
I'm not saying that you're doing it, I just want to keep that, be aware of that. But go ahead, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Garrett,
Could you go around? I'm
Commissioner
sorry, I
Gentry.
just got it.
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Raines, Chairman Weldon,
Yes.
Commissioner Garrett,
I'm gonna sustain.
Thank you. Be nice.
2403.
Okay.
And Commissioner Green, can you mute when you're not talking? Oh, okay, you did.
I muted her, but you gotta let her know to unmute herself.
Okay, Commissioner Green, we muted you because we was hearing stuff moving around, but when you want to talk again, just unmute yourself. You want to test it? Hello?
She got
All right,
All
there
right,
you go.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Resolution number 24-303, resolution of the Housing Authority of the City of Trenton, authorizing the Executive Director to enter into a partnership implementation agreement and a tri-party agreement for the Downham Homes in North Trenton Battle Monument Trace Neighborhood Project. As everyone knows, we're applying for a Trace Neighborhood Implementation Grant for $50 million. The application is due February 13th. We plan on submitting by the end of this month if possible. Part of the CNI grant requires that we enter into a partnership agreement with all of our core partners, such as Trenton Public Schools, Urban Strategies, which is our people plan partner, PRC, which is our developer, the City of Trenton, and the Housing Authority, and also enter into a data sharing agreement. This allows us to be able to work well with our residents, receive information on updates as far as educational progresses with the Board of Education, and also just to make sure that everyone is focused on implementing all of the plans that we have labeled out and planned out in the transformation plan. So we recommend that the Board of Commissioners approve this resolution, authorizing our executive director to enter into both of these agreements.
The deadline for the grant is February 13th, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 24-03?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes, I have questions.
Okay.
Okay, so how long, okay, when we were, at the Board of Education, to do come up with some type of, agreement to obtain, Junior 1, you were saying, Mr. Garrett, that it's going to be,
You muted.
You keep,
You
Commissioner
muted yourself.
Correct, you
You
muted.
muted yourself.
There's a God.
I'm sorry, did you hear anything I said?
Yeah.
Well, Board of Education, you left off at the Board of Education meeting.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So, when we were in the Board of Education and you were presenting, you were saying that it would be, because the board wanted to know when would you be, able to, demolish Junior 1? And you were stating that that may not happen possibly for another 2 to 3 years. So the point I'm getting at is.
Just a point of
how long
clarification, we
will-
wouldn't be demolishing Junior 1. The Trenton Public Schools will be demolishing Junior 1.
They're giving us the flat rate.
Oh, that's because but when we were there, that was the rank, they were trying to see if, because their insurance, they did mention that, if they were going to keep the property, their insurance was going to demolish Junior 1. But if we were going to acquire it, they were not going to have their insurance demolished. So I remember what we were told.
No, that's not, well, just to clarify, since subsequent to that, you passed the option agreement, which clearly lays out that this Trenton Public Schools will be responsible for the demolition and remediation of Junior 1.
Okay, so when will they be demolishing Junior 1?
We don't have that schedule
We
right
don't
now.
have to schedule, yeah. It's
But that
on
is our first phase, so it will be within the next.
I can't hear you.
That is the first phase of the Trace Neighborhood Grant, so it would be within the
That's
next
correct.
few years.
It will be what, ma'am?
We assume it would be within the next few years.
Next year or next 3 years?
A few years, I said, so maybe next year.
We have to get the grant first, Commissioner Correct.
I know the process, Ms. Gordon.
Well, just a clarification, we don't have to get the grant, so we will work closely with the Trenton Public Schools to get that scheduled. Right now, we're actually waiting on a leverage letter from them as a part of our grant, which lays out the demolition schedule, the cost, all of those things. But that is in the Trenton Public Schools court for the demolition of Junior 1. We anticipate if we do get the grant, it would be sometime in the fall or next year or the winter of 2025. So that gives potential, that gives plenty of time for them to begin the demolition and remediation on that particular site.
Okay, so, I don't know if it was Reed or Palmer, Doug Palmer, said that with the 50 million, my question was, they said 300 million, so my question was, is it, they're gonna be private funds of 250 million or 300 million plus the 50 million to come up to do the Dolly Homes and Junior One and stuff like that. Because I wasn't clear on when they were saying this was a package deal.
It's not for all housing, so the grant, pretty much, we anticipate around a 5 to 6 to 1 leverage. So you have housing leverage, you have neighborhood component, you have a people leverage. I mean, we just had our USI, they got leverage of, I believe, in the area of $10 million on the people side. Then you have 26 million on the people side. Then you have neighborhood improvements where there are a number of monies that the city is putting in for infrastructure, the state, for different things. So that number encapsulates all of the leverage that $50 million will bring in additional resources to the neighborhood in terms of housing, infrastructure, and social services.
And what I would like, and I hope I can get it, just as you explained it, the breakdown, because I think that should have been part of this resolution in 2403. Because again, you know, we didn't hear this at the board meeting. I heard it at the presentation, and that was, you know, I wasn't sure if that was confirmed, because like I said, I haven't been privy to any of these meetings, even the ones in November. And I didn't know about it until got into the board book. So, you know, you're asking me to be on board with this, but I'm excluded. One more question. Where is the contract?
It was
Contract
attached,
agreement that you want us to approve.
it should have been attached to the resolution.
You didn't give us a rough draft or a draft of it.
There's nothing in your board packet because I did provide it.
It's in the board package, you said?
It should have been.
That was an oversight.
Okay, so I did email it, so it was an oversight. I can make sure it goes out again. It's a draft of it.
It's an oversight, so it's not in here.
I thought it was in here. I didn't.
But it's a draft right anyway.
Yes,
Still,
it's a
not
draft.
final.
Right.
Plus,
Rather it's a draft or not, I would have thought we wanted to vote on this, we at least want to see what the draft, the content of it. So you're asking us to vote on something, and we don't even have a draft copy of it.
Commissioner Garrett, I will make sure that she sends you an email of the draft.
It was emailed out.
Chairman Weldon Coleman, they had promised to send me a number of stuff, and I haven't received
Send me
anything.
No, but we're gonna keep it moving.
That's an oversight. That's an oversight.
Okay,
There's
so
no-
we apologize for that.
There's no financial
Okay.
agreement in it, I would just say, it's just between us.
All right.
No,
Commissioner,
I understand, but I also want for the record, you know, you're coming off your break, and as your email Friday explained, that your team, you and your team was rushing to get this out. These things happen, and I want it on the record.
Excuse me,
any other?
so, Commissioner Ray, excuse me, Chair, Weldon Coleman, that's another point. Is there a resolution for you to close, the administration for, you know, the holiday?
I'll
Because
answer that.
I didn't
I'll answer
understand you don't, what's there? Excuse me,
Right.
excuse me, wait a minute, Chairwoman, wait a minute, Chairwoman. I'm not trying to make a deal, a dispute about this, but the point is, we're supposed to have 5 days to look at our board books, to be able to review them. So, we didn't get the proper amount of time, the meeting should have been postponed, we could have did it on Friday, you know, or something to that effect. But we didn't get enough time, and that's the board, and I'm not saying it was not approved by a board prior to me, but for order to close down that, and offer those holidays,
Yes,
which I had no issue,
And it was a
But
union,
that-
it was a union
I
contract.
was the chair.
excuse me?
Somebody asked me a question,
It
and I
was
answered it.
approved before you came, and that was a union contract that they put in with the union. So that's something that's not going to be changed, not unless the union would like to change it. But every year, listen to me, but every
Okay.
year, the Housing Authority closed down for the holiday. This has been going on for at least 3-4 years now.
Also,
Okay, so.
Because they gave up other holidays in order to get that time off.
there's a
Okay, so
negotiation.
Chairman, Weldon Coleman, any contract or union, agreement has to be approved by the board.
And it was approved by the board. It was approved by the board.
Okay, so if I could receive that, because I did send an email and I still didn't get nothing, because tenants were calling me, like this was the first time they were aware that the administration was closed. So, I would like to see that resolution if I could, if I
No
ever
problem.
get it.
Any other questions?
No, let's vote.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Garrett. Commissioner Garrett.
No. No.
Commissioner Gentry.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Raines.
Yes.
Chairwoman Wilson.
Yes.
So this last one, do you want to? Yeah, I'll take this one and talk about it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I want to hit us.
Okay, let's talk about it. You did a good job. Let's hold it.
So I just say I'm presenting it.
Okay.
Alright, so just to talk about resolution 2404, which is about the board retreat. This is just to officially sign an engagement letter. There is no financial commitment, yet the point is that they don't receive payment until after they actually do the work. And up until this point, they have been providing drafts, agendas, and things like that without even the engagement letter, so they've shown a lot of good faith, and so this is just taking things to a more formal place, so that way we can actually officially have them come for the first board retreat up in on the 27th. Now, there is in here a clause that says that they will, that we can terminate upon agreement with both parties if it comes to that point. You just have to put it in writing. So if we are not satisfied with that first board retreat, we shouldn't feel like we have to be stuck with a second one with them, but they are a very great vendor that is also, ideally, if we do good on this first meeting, can help us with the policy and strategy aspect of things, because that's also been important and been talked about. But this first retreat is going to be focused on relationship building and roles definition and understanding, because that takes priority in regard to the comments that I've heard from everybody. So, high level, that's what this engagement letter is saying, and it's just, this resolution is allowing us to officially sign it, so that way they can do the work and the facilitation for the 27th.
At this time, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
Yes.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So the first one is, we're paying $4,500 for 3 hours
For a half day retreat.
for a half-day retreat. I'm good for the first one, but definitely not the second. Not to pay $9,000 for us to have a retreat when all of us had to go to a training to be a commissioner. A lot of the things that we go through and discuss is we've already been through that with our training. This here, since there is a different type of board, I feel as though we have to go through this all over again for us to know our roles, which we should already know what our roles and policies and procedures are. So, and for $4,500 for 3 hours, I really think that's a lot, but it is what it is. We're already at this point in the phase. So, for me, I'm good for the one session.
Okay.
But I don't think I would approve the second, just so we can be open and honest.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes. Chairwoman, Weldon Gordon, the first session is team meeting, is that what you're saying? And the second one is a strategic one? one is what you're speaking about?
No, I'm
What's
just
the
saying,
first meeting? The first training is what?
I can answer that.
That's right here.
Yeah, so, specifically in the engagement letter, it says, basics of the board structure, relationship building.
I read that, Mr. Lopez, I read it, so
he was only answering your question, Commissioner, correct?
okay, then skip it then. Because if you're gonna answer my question, what's already written in there, I read it. So, okay. I'm not in agreement for, 3 hours or half a day for $4,500. And I heard you, I think you, was mentioning to, Mr. Truelove that it would be held there at, one of our facilities. So what exactly are we paying for 3 hours?
You know, what did you-
$4,500 is quite stiff. Now, if you wanna get, I can see $1,500, but $4,500 to tell us what? What are we gonna be doing? Because to me, it seems like it's not, what do you call it? Like we're gonna be doing anything inactive, like, like doing something other than just listening for 3 hours. What are you getting at in 3 hours for $4,500?
Commissioner Glenn,
Because I can get a course. I can get a course.
Okay.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yeah,
first of all, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so basically, to be honest, open, and truthfully, because it is 2024, we are only doing this retreat for you because you suggested.
For me,
For you, because you suggested that we have a retreat. Because you felt, listen to me, listen to me,
okay,
please.
go ahead.
You said you felt as though that we were not running the board meetings effectively. We were not following Robert Rules of Order. So the retreat,
No, I didn't say
No,
that.
yes,
I
you did.
said-
yes, you did,
Okay.
because the lawyer,
All right.
Mr. Truelove, had to get the book of Robert Rules of Order to tell you some of the things that you was pointing out that we was not doing correctly.
Interesting.
So at this time, January 27th at 9 o'clock, we are going to have a retreat. So we can all do team building, working relationships, and know our roles. Because you wanted this retreat. So this is the reason why we're going to have this retreat. So we can all get an understanding and we can all be on the same page.
Okay, can I respond now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The retreat is supposed to be something we're having 3 times a year. It's not for me, it's supposed to be for all of us. Okay, there's certain responsibilities, you are correct, that we're supposed to be performing that we are not doing. Okay? But I don't see, page, our meetings have just started from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and we still have different, I don't see the benefit. Well, first of all, if you really wanted to really meet what I'm talking about, you would have had me do it. Okay? Because I can't believe, no one, like, yeah, because I put it out there on the floor. I've been saying it like you said, but you didn't even give me the opportunity to actually, because like I said, Rutgers, I have been speaking to other housing directors. We could have flew out to Texas. I know somebody who's head of the housing authority, over the housing authority of all of Texas, Dallas, Texas. I mean, were made up for this $4,500. So to me, the 3 hours for $4,500, I don't foresee is benefiting, and I think it's a waste of our money. But if you really want sincere and serious, you would have asked me to put it together.
Okay.
$4,500 to do what?
This is Commissioner Green. The retreat was supposed to be for January 27th. I thought I said I wouldn't be available, and I also thought that, and maybe I'm wrong, did we not vote on Simon being in charge of planning and organizing the retreat?
That was gonna be-
We
I
did,
thought that
because,
we voted and
that is correct, because we had a
and pretty
committee.
much took the initiative to say, hey, I don't mind planning it. Because that's why I always spoke to Simon about the retreat, because I was always under the impression that he was going to be the commissioner that pretty much organized the retreat. Am I wrong?
No, you are correct.
and he did it on
You
his
are
side.
correct. But, Commissioner Garrett, we hear what you're saying, so right now, we're just gonna vote. If you're for having this retreat, we can vote on it.
I'm for having a retreat, I'm not for what is being presented in front of me.
That's fine, we're gonna vote on it today. If we get enough,
I'm not for what we got in front of us. But to me,
if that's the case, we haven't put no money out yet, so we can cancel this altogether because we do not have money to waste. So
Because to me, it seems like it's a waste.
that's fine.
And Chairman Weldon, I am not available that week.
Correct.
I thought yes, so.
Simon told me, yes.
Okay.
Thank you so
Simon
much.
also said that he will be
So-
speaking on Ms. Green's behalf at this meeting, and I was like, you can't speak for her at this meeting.
Okay, so Simon,
Yeah, so I explained in the last email I sent out about Commissioner Green not being able to attend, that for the sake of having the board retreat and not continuing to push it past, however many months it might be, or weeks it might be, that we would work with her, the facilitator would work with her and make sure that her voice is heard in the meeting. I won't be speaking for her, but the facilitator who has come up with these agendas and is looking to do this for us would work with her in approaching to the date to make sure that everything that she wanted to be said is said on her behalf and that we hear it during that time. And so in that instance, Commissioner Green, if you missed the email, that was what I was trying to say there, so that way we can at least still be able to get this retreat out, because I think it's more valuable to at least get something, because we've been talking about this for over a year. And so obviously I want you there, right? That's clearly the
Yes,
situation.
Simon, I totally understand exactly where you're coming from. I'm just going to speak. I think that we were trying to push forward to have the retreat, Commissioner Sherry, because you really wanted to have the retreat. And if this is something that you want to work on and be a part of, then I don't see the issue with that. And I feel like then we should the commissioner move forward in planning a retreat, and it can possibly be available for all commissioners to move forward. There's no need to vote on anything because I'm not going to be present, and if we can have Commissioner Correct plan it and organize it, then she'll make sure that everybody is in attendance. Let's just move on from it.
okay, so at this, Commissioner Lopez has another question.
Yeah, just a final comment. When it comes to the pricing and the time, I agree with you all that that's not really even preferred for me, especially when we consider the content. Who wants to pay for, conflict resolution? Who wants to pay for relationship building? But that's the state that we are in. That's the state that we are in when it comes to the board. And so I think we might feel a lot more comfortable if we would have just jumped straight into policy and strategy and having a retreat that goes into that kind of information. And 4,500 probably wouldn't seem that much because there is a lot of value that's easier to see in that. But just from where we are, that's the price for a retreat, and the content, that was what was decided that we should have as a first retreat. And that was, I heard from multiple people, right? Hey, I think relationship building is important. And so
Yes.
that's just the way that it is when it comes to why we have this price for this kind of stuff. That's just my final comment.
So, my final,
And are we paying for airfare? Are we paying for airfare? Because these people in Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia is just where they come from?
This person that is gonna be facilitating is actually local, and so their headquarters might be in Atlanta, but they're, in like the greater Philly area, this person.
So, my final comment is, at this time, I really feel as though we should nix this retreat, but it is enough of us that we need to vote on it, and whatever the ayes are, we'll have it. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Garrett,
No.
Commissioner Gentry,
Yes.
Commissioner Green. Commissioner Green,
No.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Raines,
Yes.
Chairwoman Weldon.
No.
Good job, Commissioner.
Very good
Yes,
job.
thank you very much.
Very good job and very thankless.
It just means we gotta come up with a, different price point and.
Well, I
different-
You know what, it's not about the money.
Okay.
It's not about the money, because we had a retreat before, and I think we paid
Yeah.
$5,000.
I was gonna say this is a specialization,
Right.
that's
So, it's-
actually a cheap price for
Right.
a retreat. And
It's not the money.
I went to their website.
Oh, I thought
Right.
that was.
No. You
And
did a
was that
fantastic
retreat
job.
3 hours?
So,
Chairman?
it was a half a day, yes it was. It was a half a day.
9 to
It was
1.
from 9 to 1. At this time, is there any new business? Seeing that there's no new business, public session, please. Can you please get the list, please, the people who have signed in?
We have one person signed in to speak, is that correct?
Okay. Who signed in to speak?
Trayon Uzi.
Ms. Usi, please, when you get to the podium, state your name, your address, and your issue, please.
Rion Oopsie, 25 Beach Street, 2B.
25 Beach Street.
I'm here to find out about the rent statements. Why haven't we been getting them?
Have you not received your rent statement?
Risk,
Have
They're
you?
not been, they haven't been coming out
Is it just for the month of January?
the last 3-4 months.
You have not received that?
No one has.
One moment,
that's
please.
inaccurate. Well, the risk statements have gone out, they haven't gone out late. The risk statements went out this week, Monday. So you should, I would have thought you would have had your risk statement by at least today. Again, so it's Wednesday now,
Right.
but by the end of this week, you will receive your risk statement. Again, coming back from the holiday, the break,
Mm-hmm.
and cause a little slowing there for the risk statements for us to be processed, but they are going out, and they have been going out. So if you haven't received
They
your risk
haven't been
statement,
out. No one has received them over where I'm at.
we've been mailed out. I don't know, they have been
They have
going
not
out.
been sent out. No one has received it.
We've been charged. So, but if anyone, if you have an issue with the risk statement, I can actually print your risk statement today before you leave here today.
All right.
I'll get you a copy.
Is
Now-
there anything else?
Yes, I put in for a repair going on 3 months ago, and it hasn't been fixed yet. Should I have to go over your head to get it done, or you go downtown, or
Who said would you like to go over?
housing? Since I can't get it done, I'll put in for it.
So you put in a work order?
Yeah.
Do you know what day you put the work order in and who you spoke to?
One that had the baby, Miss Jerome.
Is, Ms. Jerome back at work?
Yes.
Okay. What is the issue with your apartment?
There's a hole between my tub and my sink in the bathroom. And it's turning white.
And it's 25 feet, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I will make sure somebody look into that.
All right.
Anything else?
No?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else, Kristen?
Yes, Mr. Reginald Fisher.
Mr. Fisher, please, when you get to the podium, state your name and your address. sir.
My name is Reginald Fisher. I live at 998 Southern Street.
99,
8 Southern Street, yes.
and what is your issue, sir?
I have the same problem as the lady. They don't, my floors are messed up, my heat don't work. Nobody came to fix my house for like almost a year and a half.
Can you tell me when did you put your work order in?
I put a work order in like 8-9 months ago.
So, and this is your first time at a board meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
So what was you doing in the process of the 8-9 months?
I was coming to the office asking them to send out work orders and can they help, fix my house up. Everything else like that. That was it.
So your heat don't work.
Yeah, it barely gets hot. It barely gets hot. It's just on.
Do you have a thermostat inside your unit?
Yes.
Okay. And what else besides the heat?
My floors, my bedroom floor has a big hole. My bathroom floor has a big hole. And my screen door, it doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
Like it barely doesn't open like that. So we gotta go out the back door.
So in other words, if you leave it open and unattached, that it will fly off the handles?
Yes.
Anything else, sir?
And just like I need somebody like to paint the walls because it's like a lot of it's like a little hole right there and there's stuff coming out like bugs coming out of it.
Do it need to be spackled or is it a hole?
Maybe like spackle on it. I think there might be something up in there.
And how long have you been in your unit?
Since 2017.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
Mr. Leggett,
I will address this as soon as the meeting's over.
thank you so much.
No problem.
It'll be handled.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
It was all, it was on the list.
Okay. At this time, we have commissioner comment. Commissioner Durant,
Yes, ma'am.
you have any commissioner comments?
Yeah, I like how you handled addressing the tenants' concerns and their needs. I'm very impressed. I'm proud of you. I'm glad. That was great. I mean,
Thank you so much.
that gave me confidence, and I'm sure it gave them confidence. Other than that, I would like to be able to actually set up retreats. I would like to be able to get approval to work with Mr. Lopez while we work together. Because I think before the committee was yourself, Chair Weldon Coleman, and Commissioner Gentry. So, I would like to be able to, work with him if he would like to work with me. Because like I said, I had already been doing that, but I did, when you all came with the committee, I didn't say anything. This is going. But I have some contacts. I just, especially in Texas, and I just have to speak with the person. I didn't speak with them as of yet, but I have a friend who lives in Texas, who is a very good friend of the people who handles the housing authority in Texas, one of the public housing in Texas. So that would be nice to be able to kind of see how things operate, how it relates to us. And I think it would be quite educational. I think definitely would benefit Mr. Garrett, because, he has, Trenton Housing Authority is not a small authority, and to actually see what, other people are doing, how to meet with the board, and kind of troubleshoot with people who are actually doing it. Other board members, we're having a retreat to actually see, share information. I think that would be more helpful, and also helpful with the housing authorities, because we are about to, this is one of the biggest projects in Trenton. So I think it will be informative, I think it will be educational, and I think it will propel us to improve and help us, work together also other complaints, in regards to, again, security. Hello? Regards to security, I have had a number of complaints, about, issues and tenants feeling secure. I've been been, in contact with the tenant, and, just to say this, domestic violence or, encounters with people who are in relationships or, people, Trenton Housing Authority is like any other community, but people are dating people's exes and stuff like that. People are not taking breakups very well, and, I've had known people where they've been stalked. From my understanding, there's a couple of residents that have restraining orders, for other people who are actually not tenants, but live with somebody else there in another unit. And my concern is that we need to put a policy together, and I'd like to get approval to, find a template, because we gotta figure out how to deal with these issues where we have people who are being attacked, they're being bullied. This could take somebody's life, especially a mother who has children, okay? And we put these children in danger of being, because they don't have anybody there to protect their best interests, their well-being and whatnot, because their mother or their father was killed, because, there's, people don't not really know how to handle their, I don't know what you call it, whatever their emotions, they're not managing their emotions correctly, and they're not making the correct decisions. So, from my understanding, this stuff has been escalating, and people are saying that the housing authority is not really, and I'm not saying the housing authority is not handling it appropriate, I'm only repeating what I'm hearing. So I don't want to get anybody riled up, and I'm not, I'm always just repeating, I'm just saying. So I don't really know, but God forbid that somebody gets killed, because they have been coming to the housing authority administration complaining, and have informed the housing authority, they have restraining orders, and they're being told that there's nothing they can do. I mean, I know you can't get involved with people's domestic, but what is the process? What do we put in place, so people know that behavior will not be tolerated? It will not be tolerated. So I would like us to, and that is important, that's what the retreats are for. Just like I'm speaking here, we would be at the retreat, putting policies together, updating policies, because that's what the purpose of the board is for. The administration is to implement the policies that the board sets. What else? I wanted to say. Security, someone said that there was an incident where, and I did send an email out, where they contacted security at the front desk, and I would appreciate, we're talking about money like $4,500, for 3 hours, but we only have one guard. So one guard can't leave his post, so they don't know what to do. And it just seems like, I'm not saying they're not being trained, I just feel, because some people just do what they want to do because they're not being supervised. Okay, I mean, I supervise people, and I find that, sometimes you gotta be, you gotta be monitored more so than others. But the point is that we need at least 2 guards at that main desk. So if a guard has to come over to open up doors because there's smell of gas, and a tenant doesn't die in their apartment because the security guard refuses to leave their post or doesn't know how to handle it, I mean, do we have someone that they can call that ask for direction or guidance? Because it just seems like people are just closing, shutting down, and they're not communicating with the proper, their superior or whoever that they're supposed to be reporting. I don't know if there's a supervisor on staff. There's still complaints about maintenance, that when tenants call the number, nobody shows up. I mean, and something, I can understand that some things, well, okay, it's not pressing, but that incident that happened with the tenant pouring gasoline in their moped in the apartment, and it was so smelling quite loud, I mean, and the security guard just hung up on him, and thank God that people did open their door, because the person who called was concerned that, the person wouldn't open the door, or they could have been in there unconscious. So, you know, there's got to be a course of some checks and balances, some oversight, because what I'm getting is there's not enough oversight. You know, it's not enough oversight. And like I said, in regards to the domestic violence situation where people got restraining orders, people being jumped, you know, busting out people's unit windows and car windows and stuff like that, that cannot be tolerated. And we have to set precedent to let the tenants know that certain behavior, anything outside of your unit, you cannot terrorize other people, you cannot stalk other people, you cannot bring people on the premises and make other people who pay rent, who live here, who's on the lease, uncomfortable or afraid to be in their own unit. And they're at a hotel, staying at a hotel, can't pay their little bit of rent, because they're afraid for their life. So we've got to put some policies in place, and again, that is what the retreats are for. That's the purpose of the retreats.
All right, thank you so much. Commissioner Green? Commissioner Green? Commissioner Lopez?
Yeah, I will look to address the central concerns with what this board retreat, didn't, address, and we'll get back to you all with, another resolution when the time is right.
Commissioner Lane?
Yes, I have a couple. Well, I have a comment and a question. First of all, thank you, Commissioner Lopez. Facilitating and pulling these things together for 7 people is a lot of work. And you're never going to get full agreement from all 7. Part of being a team is that, I'm not going to get all the pie that I want. But accept where you are and move forward. So a team building session, the first session was probably what was most needed. That being said, whatever effort you put into this, I'm confident that you will do well. And, this was all undertaken when I took my little sabbatical from the board, so, I have different experiences with retreats. That being said, you did a Herculean job and you did a good job, and I want it on the record. Secondly,
How do you know that?
how do I know that? How do I know that? No.
That's
No.
Commissioner Lopez.
You shut her down.
This is not.
You shut her
Commissioner
down.
Garrett?
You shut her down.
Commissioner Garrett, it is not your turn to talk, please.
I let her dribble that nonsense earlier and didn't
Please.
say anything? Let me
Please,
talk.
please.
This is the
Are you
frustrating.
done?
No, I'm not. I had a question also.
Okay, go
We
ahead.
used to have a practice on this board that when you got your board packet, I understand the 5-day rule and all of that, but when you got your board packet, you would email the secretary of the board, copying the board attorney, any questions that you had so they could be addressed. We've waited 4 months to have an executive session on personnel matters that have changed because the meeting stretched out so long. So I wanted that on the record, and I wanted my question on the record. I know the policy ain't gonna change because we are 7 strong-minded individuals that wanna do what they wanna do. That's why we needed a team-building retreat. Just like you're entitled to your opinion, Commissioner Grant, so am I. That's all I have.
Thank you so much.
I never said.
Commissioner Garrett, we're not doing this. Nope. Commissioner Gentry.
Worst 3 years ever.
Commissioner Weldon, I have one thing to say. I want to tell Commissioner Lopez, I think you did a good job. It's a shame that, You know, sometimes people want to tell other people what value they should put on their level of expertise.
There you go.
People get paid what they get paid because of what they know. And if they're not used to it, then you don't know what you need to pay them for it, you know. Cheap begets cheap. So, you want something good, you're going to pay good. I just want to tell you, you know, I think you did a great job. It's a shame that, because the board's in a position where it needs certain things, because the board put itself in that position. At the end of the day, everybody on the board is grown. Rich. And the fact that we have to have a workshop to learn how to play in the same sandbox, give me a break. But it costs what it costs, because now you're trying to shape minds that aren't willing to go along with it. But there you go. That's it for me.
Very well said, Commissioner.
I have several comments. The first comment I have is, we receive emails from different people all the time. At the end of the day, I would like the residents to know that we are commissioners at the end of the day, and there is staff in place for you to talk to. When you feel as though things cannot get accomplished through the staff, and it's something that's really pressing and that you want to get your point across, then I feel as though it's okay for you to reach out to the commissioners. One stating, I don't know who, why, or when. If you are a resident here at the Trenton Housing Authority, every single resident get a letter in the mail stating when your reappointment is. You cannot just walk up to the office and say, I want to be recertified today. It doesn't work like that. There are rules and regulations for a reason. You can't come in December saying, I'm ready to get recertified. No, you know when you moved in, and you know you got a letter. And if you didn't get a letter the first time, you got a letter the second time saying you missed your appointment. So for you to reach out to somebody else, talking about you came to the office to get an appointment, or you wanted to see somebody, you know you was in the wrong in the first place. Let's stop using people as victims here when we know what we're supposed to do. You're reaching out to the commissioners who don't live in a housing authority and maybe don't know the rules and regulations. You know what the rules and regulations are. Stop trying to make people look bad and make it seem like they're not doing their job. That is one, because it's not fair. Two, yes, for us commissioners, we all knew that the housing authority in the beginning in order to get that week off. So to send out emails stating, I need to meet with you, who are you meeting with when the office is closed?
Pretty good question.
You can't have people give up their time to come in the office and meet with anybody when the office is closed. You need to treat the housing authority like you treat any other business. When the bank is closed, the bank is closed. You can't send them an email saying, well, I want my money today. The Mac machine is not working. It's closed. The housing authority is no different than any other business. We have to do better. We have to hold everybody accountable. Everybody has a job to do. Like I said at the last board meeting, whatever the issue is, allow the housing authority 5 days. And the reason why I said 5 days, because they're going to have to come out and see it. Some tenants don't want people in their house when they're not there. So you got to be able to work with people. Let them assist the situation before we jump to conclusions. It's just not fair. And we need to think first before we speak and start start jumping down people's throats for no apparent reason. This is a new generation now, a new age. You have to talk to people with respect in order for them to give you something. Because when you come at them the wrong direction, they don't even want to talk to you. They can't even help you because your attitude was so strong and they so taken back that they just don't know what to do. So we have to be conscious of all of this. We need to think first before we speak. Make sure you get all of your information correct before you throw it out there to other people. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to have an executive session. So I thank each and every one of you for coming today. I thank you for your patience. And one more thing I want to say before we leave. I would like us to have our February meeting in the senior building for February. To my knowledge, I know we already did one at the Abbott building, so we could either do Joseph or French Towers.
No, we did Joseph. We did Joseph.
We did it in Joseph, okay.
Take it
So-
French towers.
Let's go to French Towers because we haven't been there yet. So our February meeting should be in French Towers. Okay, so, for the staff, the attorney, the executive director, I would like for y'all to make that happen. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would need everybody except for Cliff and Christie to please exit the building. Exit the room. Sorry.
Okay.
Madam Chair, we're coming back into session now?
Yes. No, we don't have anything else to vote on, so after executive session, we're done. Yeah.
And I do, Nelson Mack, for reference to the calendar discussion.
Everything is so
Somebody's been terrorized out there, here and here.
Gentry. How you doing, sir?
All right, how you doing?
Hi, John, how you doing?
I'm good, Kenny. Good to see you, sir.